Be Fruitful, a diary of Sunday inspiration. Let us be inspired by understanding the first great blessing from God. Be fruitful in Genesis 1:28. What is to be fruitful in man? We know that we have physical self and we also have spirit self. So what is in man or the physical self of man that needs to be fruitful? And what is in the spirit self of man that needs to be fruitful? What is to be fruitful in man? Let's look at the physical self of man. Man has senses: sight, hear, smell, taste, and touch. The physical self needs the following to grow: food, shelter, and clothing in all stages of growth, from an infant or child to a teenager and to an adult person. And we know that the source of food, shelter, and clothing is coming from the earth, God's creation. Now let's look at the spirit self of a man. The spirit self also grows from an infant or a child to a teenage and even to an adult. And there are also five senses: sight, hear, smell, taste, and touch. Those senses need love, and love from God in all stages of growth. We know that the source of love is God, and in Genesis 2:7, that is explained. Then the Lord God formed man of dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. When all the 10 senses of man are filled and satisfied, man can feel complete happiness. The Book of the Divine Principle by True Parents explains the levels of love. Be fruitful, which is the first great blessing. Genesis 1:28. In the Bible, many times man is compared to a tree, and we know that a tree starts growing from a seedling to a sapling. And then when this tree matures, this gives flowers before bearing fruits. Romans 11:17 is one of those verses comparing man to a tree. Now let us look at the stages of man's growth from child, adolescence to adult love. All these stages must be filled with the love of God. We know that God has been pouring His love to man. He gives the words of God or the words of love. So what man can do in all stages is to listen, believe, and follow God's words. When every stage of man is filled with love from God, man is completely happy. From a child to a teenager to an adult individual. When a man matures in the love of God, physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, then the matured man and a matured woman can be blessed in marriage by God. And definitely, this matured man and woman in the love of God will be able to form a family, a happy family, a joyful family. And then God can dwell in man. God can dwell in that family on earth. The Book of the Divine Principle by True Parents explains growth of love in man. Now, this is a cup of a man that needs to be filled in full. with the love of God. We know that a child growing to teenage into the adult age needs to be full of education from God's love. Only Heavenly Parents' love can fill the heart of a man. Heavenly Parent is the source of love, and Heavenly Parent is pouring all of His love to man, so that when man is filled with love from Heavenly Parent, there is no emptiness in the heart of a man. Again, we need to know that God is educating His children, all of us, to grow in God's love, to mature in God's love, and to give value to all the creation with God's love. When man matures in God's love, man becomes God's image and likeness in will, emotion, creativity, intellect, and love. Thank you for watching. Bring with you the love and blessings of Heavenly Parent and true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind.